For the first time, I'm actually losing weight, and I haven't lost weight in a long time.
Welcome back to The Perfect Workout. I'm Jordan, your host, and today we sit down with our client Frances from Wilmette, Illinois. Frances has actually been able to do what a lot of people have not been able to do, and that is lose weight while sheltering at home. So in today's feature, we dive into her experience with virtual training, how she's been able to lose the weight while doing that, and how she's taking preventative action to age with strength and grace as she gets older.
I've been a university professor for 35 years, and it's a very unhealthy lifestyle because we spend most of our hours sitting on a desk, either reading or writing, and the only time we really move around is when we're teaching. And usually when I teach, I sit down too. It's a circle of students. You have a small class. When it's a big class, you move around a little bit more. But so it's not a very healthy lifestyle. Yeah. So as I'm getting older, I decided I need to do something to keep my body in shape and to stay healthy.
So when you were teaching and feeling like you were rather sedentary for a lot of those years, were you doing anything to work out or to be active?
I have done other things. I mean, I like to walk when the weather's nice and warm. I do kind of fast power walks, even if it's half an hour at a time. I was also doing some Zumba classes for women, older women like me. So on and off. And then I've also been doing a lot of stretching and yoga with a friend of mine who teaches at her home. My yoga teacher had told me at one point that I'm very flexible because I am, but she said you needed strength. And then when I saw the perfect workout advertisement in the newspaper, I thought, well, this sounds like a good thing because I'm not spending too much time in the gym. It seems like it's pretty effective. So I went ahead and got the visit, and then I said, no, I'm going to do it. I try to stay as healthy as I can. I try to stay in shape. When I turned 60 or even in my 50s, late 50s, early 60s, my metabolism shut down. I started putting on weight. And that's when I said, no, I need to do something to, stay in shape. Yeah.
So what did you think, having a little bit of strength training and gym experience in the past, what did you think about the perfect workout when you came to the studio and saw that it was a rather non-traditional approach to exercise? What were you thinking?
I loved it. I love first the sort of the personal, intimate, setting that it's only you. I mean, I have run into, the person who was there before or a person coming in when I'm leaving, but, overall the studio is yours with your personal trainer. So that's really nice because you can chat, you can talk about other things. You can also ask silly questions, or questions that may be embarrassing, right? If there's other people around. So I felt really safe there and very comfortable with that setting. I also I was telling my personal trainer the other day, oh my God, I miss those machines. Like, I kind of hate them when I get there. But then, when once you finish the workout, you just feel so good and it gives you energy and you feel healthy. So the setting itself was good, that it's intimate and personal and all of that. And then also just, it's slow, right? So the movements are slow. It's not about how many, exercises you can get done, in an amount of time, but kind of taking it slow and feeling that the muscles working, right? So I really enjoyed that. Yeah. And then once I started, I kind of got hooked and I'm like, oh my God, this is good. I figured if that's my investment, right, in my health.
And I've always thought of it as like that an investment as preventative healthcare, rather than paying all kinds of doctor bills or medication bills later in the future. We're preventing that by strengthening our system in so many different ways now.
And things, like bone loss. I mean, my doctor told me I was sort of pre-diabetic in my last lab work that I had done. This was like a couple months ago. So I'm like, well, now I even have to. And she said, you need to do more exercise and you need to eat less carbohydrates, right? So So I asked Drew to help me, with losing weight and to with the diet and the nutrition part. And so he got me into this app, the My Fitness Pal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it has made such a difference. And I've lost 9 pounds and I'm feeling, like I'm more in control now of my consumption of food. I know what I can eat by the end of the day. If I've had too many calories, I know I don't have to have a big dinner. So just feeling more in control of what I'm eating makes
Yeah.
such a difference. For the first time, I'm actually losing weight, and I haven't lost weight in a long time.
That's awesome.
So
And so
yeah.
that's just been in the last couple of months that
Yeah,
Drew's been guiding you while at home to be able to do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now during the quarantine, I mean, it's like everybody's talking about gaining weight because everybody's eating at home more. And I'm like, for me, it's been totally the opposite.
Yeah, so you're breaking the norm in quarantine. You are
I know, yeah.
losing weight by doing at-home workouts and paying attention to your food, whereas a lot of people probably aren't. That's pretty cool. How have the virtual workouts been for you in comparison to your in-studio workouts that you were doing for at least over a year?
Yeah, yeah. Well, at first it was kind of awkward because it's like, how do you set up the computer so that Drew can see me? I know my yoga teacher has told me it's so important when you're doing virtual workouts to make sure that your trainer can see your alignment and your body and make sure that you're doing things correctly. You don't want to get hurt, right? You don't want to get sore from a problem doing something wrong. So I think that was sort of my big concern at the beginning.
Sure.
So I was always, and now I still do it. I tell Drew, just a minute, let me make sure the computer that you can see me, see my legs or see my upper body or whatever it is that I'm working on, because it is really important for him to see that I'm doing it correctly. So I think beyond that challenge, everything else has been going very smoothly. And so I look forward to my workouts on Mondays and Friday mornings. I, wake up early, make sure that I'm ready, and it gets me going. It gives me this energy during the day that I don't have, in other days during the week. So, and we're doing things that I wouldn't be doing in the studio, right? Like
Mhm.
sit-ups and crunches and planks and all kinds of floor exercises that I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. But we manage and we modify things if I feel uncomfortable. One day we were trying to do something and I told him, no, my lower back doesn't feel good doing this. So we used a pillow, and I had support for my lower back. So he was very good. He's been very good in, modifying things in case, there's something I don't feel comfortable with, right? So that has been really helpful. So yeah, and I'm like, and I know I'm getting stronger. He told me the other day, he's like, oh my God, I can see your muscles, in your arms here. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm not doing bodybuilding, at all, but it just feels good to know that your body is strong, that you're getting healthier, right? And I haven't been, I have never had any major like chronic illness or anything, any conditions in my body right now. So I'm just happy to get old, beginning to age and to feel that I am at least, that my body's healthy enough. But you have to work at it too, you can't expect to be healthy without doing anything. So with the virtual workouts, Drew has been, and it's been good too. He shows me like images of people doing the exercise he wants me to do, and that's also really helpful, for me to do things correctly.
Yeah, so there's still that element of not really needing to know exactly what you're doing going into the workout because
Yeah,
you're getting the coaching and you're getting the guidance
right.
throughout the whole thing.
No, it's been really good. I have to, I mean, I tell people if you want to try something to make that will make a difference, this is it. Especially when, I'm 64 now and I'm like, we need to move on and intervene in our health and in our bodies. If we let our bodies just continue to move on without exercising and being active. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You look incredible, by the way. I would have never guessed that you were 64. I was thinking like early 50s.
I wish.
In
No, but
spirit, maybe.
I know, in spirit, yeah. No, actually, my 50s were horrible, so I'm just glad to be 60 now. Because the menopause totally, it was horrible. I survived those 10 years, I have to say, yeah. So
Do you feel like that was a big factor in your metabolism and you said gaining weight a lot easier? Do you feel that was from going through menopause?
I think menopause had a big part of it. I also had my last son, my third child, was born when I was 50. So, getting rid of that belly after
Yeah.
childbirth took forever, and I still have it. I still have my little rolls here, and I'm still working on that. And I'm not worried about that as much as I am about being in a good, having a good BMI, being healthy,
Yeah.
in terms of that. But yeah, I mean, between my childbirth at 50, going into menopause right after that childbirth, because that's what happened to my body, just went into menopause automatically
Wow.
after childbirth. So, all the hormonal changes.
Mhm.
And I was on estrogen, what is it called? The natural estrogen, because I'm allergic to the synthetic estrogen.
Mhm.
So I had the little patches that I used to put on my belly with organic estrogen, and that really helped me tremendously during those years. But I think I had it for about 6, 7 years, and
Oh,
then my midwife said, you need to think about getting off estrogen too because of all the risks associated with it. So, and I eventually did. I said, okay, fine. And then when I turned 60, I have to say, before turning 60, but that year, I woke up one morning and I just felt like I had this energy that I hadn't felt in a long time. It was almost overnight. It was really weird, very weird sensation. But yeah, I feel so much more. I have more energy. I can, be more active. And my 50s were not like that at all.
did you ever imagine that in your 60s you'd be getting stronger and losing weight and having more
No,
energy?
not at all. Not at all. No, no. So that's the beauty of it. And,
Yeah.
like Drew said, it's not about the age because, we all age differently.
Yeah.
And, I have a sister who's very ill. She has MS and she's in bed. She's been in bed for years now. And, it's just when you see other people with chronic illnesses and, lack of mobility and things like that, even at my age, and I think, wow, so I'm blessed that I'm healthy and that, but I've worked for it too.
Absolutely.
It takes work and effort, right? Also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you see that, the result of your strength training and your workouts and now paying attention to your diet? How do you see that transpiring into your 70s or your 80s?
I'm a fan of the perfect workout. I hope as long as I have funding, I will continue to pay for it because I think it's worth it and more long term, right? Like I'm afraid to let it go because I'm like, oh my God, then what's gonna happen, right? So you get hooked on it and it's good for you. So I hope to stay strong as much as I can and that, as I get older, that I can still do things like travel and, be relatively active for whatever age I'm in. And that hopefully, it will help also prevent, more serious illnesses, right? So I think like now that my doctor said, oh, you're pre-diabetic, so you have to make some changes. I said, okay, I'm going to make those changes, right? When things happen, then you can take care of them and at least prevent them as much as you can, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I hope to continue to stay, active and into my 70s at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is, aging is not easy. And I see things like going down the stairs in my house. I take my time, I hold on to the banister, I want to make sure I don't fall, right? So you start thinking more about how to prevent things from happening so that you don't end up falling. And I have fallen a number of times already, in the last 4 or 5 years. And I'm always like very careful now, when I walk and, my rhythm of walking and, making sure that my feet are strong. So all kinds of things that you have to start thinking about, you
Yeah.
know, as you get older. So, and the perfect workout has just been amazing. It's been a blessing to be able to know that I'm getting stronger, you know.
Yeah. How have you seen that transpire into your day-to-day activities? I mean, obviously, you've been losing weight as of lately, but have you noticed going down the stairs being easier, or have you noticed yourself
Yeah.
stronger in certain ways?
Oh yeah, definitely. And even things like now, that I have to like mop my floors and vacuum my house because my housekeeper doesn't come in. She hasn't come for the last 2 weeks. I mean, 2 months. And I'm like, oh dear, doing laundry, carrying bags, grocery bags from the car to the kitchen, all kinds of things, gardening, right? All these things that are physical activities. I just feel much more strong now than I did even 5 years ago, or even 10 years ago. So it does make a difference, and I see it. And even things like, yeah, walking. When I do my power walks, I mean, I try to push myself to go as fast as I can. But I'm also very aware, that my feet feel a lot more stronger now than they did, a couple years ago. So things like that, yeah. And, even carrying things, I know that I can carry more heavy weight now than I did before. So I can see the difference, definitely. Yeah.
That's awesome. And had you worked with a personal trainer before joining the Perfect Workout?
No. Yeah, well, I did, yeah, when I was in Bally's years ago. And he's still my Facebook friend. Ron Crit, and he was wonderful. My daughter and I used to go to the Bally's in Lincoln Park, I think it was around Lincoln Park, Bucktown, and so we signed up to work with him. And then after we stopped doing Bally's, he still my daughter would still do some, workout sessions with him here and there. And then one time I went to his house and I did a session in his basement, but it was just too painful. It
Like
was,
physically painful?
yeah, like I'm like, I can't do this. This is too difficult. And, I was just like, sometimes personal trainers are not really sensitive to how you need to start doing things little by little. You can't just expect a 60-year-old woman, to be doing crunches or planks or, push-ups, right? The way a 30-year-old does it. So anyway, so I was like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna do this. So, and now once I started the perfect workout, I felt very safe. And I've had three different trainers, well, four different trainers since I started, but and they're all different in so many ways, but still I felt like, they were pushing me to do the best I could. They weren't just expecting to, they just didn't how do I say that? They had high expectations, right? And they push me and they exhort me and they motivate me to do the best. And the good thing is, like, you don't know how much you're doing until they tell you. So they will be like, oh, you just did, like, an extra 10 seconds on an exercise. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, that's good, right? So having the iPad and the way that they can document every minute and every second that you're doing, and some exercises you're doing more one week and other exercises you do more the next week. And but they do it without you even knowing, right, that you're actually pushing yourself and that you're doing more than the week before. And that to me has been really good too, right? Knowing that I don't have to be, how to explain it, but like, they're the ones knowing how much I've been doing, and the documenting in the electronic pad has been amazing too, right?
Yeah, you
So
don't have to think about it. You don't have to think
right,
about the seat settings, the weights, trying to beat your previous time. You just have to come in, give your best effort, and be coached.
yeah, yeah. And Drew has been amazing. I'm just so happy that that I'm working with him now, just because I tell him, please talk to me about something else when he has me doing wall sits.
Distract me,
Like,
please.
so painful, these wall sits. And I know my thighs are so much better now than before, but I'm like, oh my God, talk to me about your children. Tell me what you did this week, and like, tell me, entertain me and distract me so that I don't think about my pain. I know my belly has gone down tremendously. I feel more, I think I feel thinner, I feel lighter. And I feel like, I have muscle now. I feel my muscles, in ways that I haven't before. So definitely much more self-confident with my body and my strength, right? And I just feel more healthy. I'm definitely more active now than I was before, and I think that also helps with metabolism, right? And being able to burn, the calories and the food that I eat. So I think all of that has definitely been part of the transformation. Yeah, yeah.
What are your goals now?
Well, to continue, I still want to lose at least 10 more pounds.
Mhm.
I would like to lose 10 more pounds. I'm losing supposedly a pound a week. And Drew says, don't worry so much about the numbers. The important thing is that you continue to work out and to stay active and your muscles are burning. But beyond that, I mean, just basically to stay active, and especially now in the summer, be able to walk and, do a little bit more exercise, take care of my garden, things like that. Just everyday things that, I would be thinking about twice if I wasn't working out the way I am now.